My name's Dave Dubeau, founder of MoneyPartnerFormula.com, and this show is built for everyday real estate investors who are actively doing deals and looking to scale using other people's money. So if you're an active real estate investor and you want to get featured on this show to talk about your own real estate and capital raising experiences, then just go to daveinterviewsyou.com. Now let's get rolling with this episode, and remember to subscribe for daily interview content. Hey folks, have you heard about the boom in affordable housing, or the huge demand for affordable housing these days, and not only in the United States, but in Canada and worldwide? Well, today my special guest is a specialist in affordable housing, and he's going to show us how he makes affordable housing profitable for himself, his partners, and his investors. So today, zooming in from Atlanta, Georgia, we've got a very seasoned and accomplished real estate entrepreneur, Tomond Jack. He's been doing this for over 20 years. He is a broker. He is a syndicator. He is a fund manager. He is a real estate entrepreneur. So Tomond, welcome to the show. Great to have you.
Thanks, Dave. Great to be here.
Hey, man. So give me a snapshot. What does real estate investing look like for you as of today, January 2025? What does the portfolio look like right now?
So right now, what we're focused on is developing affordable housing for sale. So we're helping individuals get into homes, making them more affordable for them to acquire homes, particularly public service workers. You know, we kind of focus on police officers, teachers, firefighters, things that kind of help the community and stabilize some of these neighborhoods that they buy homes in. So we have several projects going on across Metro Atlanta, because that's where we're located in Atlanta. We kind of focus on Atlanta for right now, but we have several projects going on developing affordable housing for sale.
Okay, so it's build to sell affordable housing. What do these houses look like? Because a lot of people have a vision in their mind or a stigma as to what affordable housing looks like, aka the projects. So what I don't think that's
Right.
what you guys are building. So what do you got? What are you guys doing?
No, it's not. We're definitely not recreating the project. So a lot of these are single family homes, or some are more like townhome style developments. And these are nice properties. I mean, they have granite countertops, some may have LVP type flooring, they have nice fixtures, stainless steel package, they're pretty nice properties. They're comparable to any other property on the market. So it's not like we're out there just developing a cheaper product. We are developing a quality product that, I mean, we're proud of, and I think any homeowner would be proud of.
Okay, so what is it that makes these kind of properties affordable versus just typical single family homes or townhouses? What kind of define that category for me, if you wouldn't mind?
Yeah, so what makes them affordable is we work with a lot of government entities and nonprofit organizations that provide down payment assistance, or they may contribute low cost of capital to the development side of the deal, or they may even contribute the land to the deal in a fashion, investing alongside of us. So we have different components involved in the investment structure to where it makes it more affordable for the homeowner, for the home buyer.
All right. So, and you were mentioning that these homes are really kind of geared towards police officers, firefighters, nurses, these kind of working professionals that are really um, involved in the community. So, are there special programs just for these folks, or is it kind of financially based, income based? How does that work, Tamad?
So sometimes there are programs specifically geared towards those different type of professions. For example, veterans, they have different programs geared towards veterans that they can get, at least in the Atlanta metro market here, up to $100,000 in down payment assistance,
Wow.
which is pretty incredible. $100,000 to purchase towards the purchase of a home. You have different organizations, for example, the Atlanta Police Foundation. They actually provide some financing and down payment assistance for police officers, but they will also help develop the properties too. So they may provide the funding for us to develop the property, and we just have to sell it to the police officers once we're done, according to the police foundation. So there's different organizations that will help you make these projects more affordable for different members of the community.
Okay, very, very cool. Now, from an investment standpoint, obviously you're passionate about your community, you want to give back, you want to help out. However, you're also raising capital. You've got a fund for these projects. How are you turning a profit with affordable housing?
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, we work with these government entities and nonprofits to where it makes the cost of developing less than, what the normal market rate would be for developing the property. Sometimes it's the cheaper cost of land,
Mm.
or on the back end, it's getting that down payment assistance for the homeowner to where we're still selling at market value, but the homeowner's getting a lot of assistance to buy that property. So there's different ways to make it happen. It's not just like one formula for every
Yeah.
deal.
Mm.
It all depends on the deal. I mean, in some situations, there are land banks, and the land banks are willing to sell the properties to you for a pretty cheap value, or they may even give you the property as part of the deal if you're willing to keep it below a certain area median income threshold. Here to be considered affordable, it has to be less than 120% of the AMI, the area median income, which for Metro Atlanta, that's pretty high. That's a household of four can make up to $129,000. So it's not like you're targeting folks who aren't making any money, but you just have to be capped at certain thresholds.
Got it. So it sounds to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, Tomond, it sounds to me like you guys have figured out how to jump through all the hoops and go through all the bureaucracy, because there must be a ton of it for this kind
Right,
of
right,
stuff,
yeah.
right? So that you're getting subsidized, or you're able to get much cheaper land, or you're able to tie into these different kind of programs. So where you guys can build out these properties, do the development, and sell them at an affordable rate, and still be making a pretty good, a typical kind of profit margin on these kind of development deals, as if they were a free market type deal. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely. That's
Yeah.
100% accurate. It's being tied into these different programs and knowing how to navigate them. They're not easy. Sometimes they
Yeah.
can be time consuming, sometimes they can be slow moving, but we've made those connections and able to make it happen.
Yeah, and I imagine once you've got a little bit of a track record with that, it really greases the wheels for the next projects that are coming down the pipeline.
Yeah, no, for sure. So, working with the nonprofits, to be able to get in with one, that gives you credibility for the next nonprofit that comes along, or even the city entity that may want to work with you, having the resume to say, hey, we work with X, Y, and Z nonprofit over here on this affordable housing project. That definitely, boosts your resume.
Yeah, most definitely. Very interesting. The question I wanted to ask you, Tamand, is are these typically like one-off properties, like you're buying a lot and building one house on it, or are you kind of doing development projects of multiple properties at the same time? What does that look like usually?
So another way we make them affordable is we try to find land that is underutilized. So, for example, a lot of properties in the city of Atlanta have been rezoned to where you can build, multiple units on a property, but it was a single family lot. So we might buy that single family house and tear that house down and build two homes, depending on the lot. It might be able
Mhm.
to fit three or four homes. It all depends on the situation. So we try to maximize each deal as much as possible. So most of the time, it is multiple units. It's not huge subdivisions. It's not 100 homes or anything like that,
Yeah,
but it may
three or
be,
four townhome type things.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, three or four at a time, something like that. Sometimes they are just one unit. It all depends on, what we're able to get that lot for and how we can maximize profit on it. But like I said, most of the time it is multiple units that we're building at one time.
So it sounds like you're working with a team to do these kind of projects. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, I have two other partners. We've come together to create our fund, Affordify Housing Fund, and then we have partnered with developers also to actually, well, builders to actually develop the
Mhm.
properties and build the homes for us.
Very cool. So the three partners, how do you kind of divvy up what the responsibilities are? What's your main focus in the partnership?
My main focus is managing the fund. So
Mm.
the fund is just not about capital raising. There's a lot of things that go behind it as far as administratively, and also communicating with the investors, investor relations, things like that. So that's mainly what I do is meet with investors and manage the fund. So that's my primary responsibility in
Got it.
regards to our partnership.
Very cool. Now you're a very, very busy guy because you're, in addition to being a real estate investor yourself, you've got your own portfolio. You're
Yes.
involved in the affordable housing side of things. You're a broker. I think you're also involved in syndications as well. Is that correct with multifamily properties?
Yes, yes, with multifamily and actually syndicated self-storage also. So yeah, yeah.
You're a busy guy. All things. So how do you juggle all this all at the same time, Tomond? Any tricks, tips, suggestions?
Well, you have to compartmentalize, break down your day and focus on certain things each day. You can't do it all at one time. So there's certain days where I may focus on the a fortify over here, or there may be certain days where I'm more focused on my portfolio, depending on what the situation is. So I just kind of break it up by day and have specific focus days for myself.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, it sounds like you're very active on the investor side of things. What have been some of your learnings or your takeaways over the years when it comes to finding investors and getting them to put money into a fund?
The biggest thing is just letting everybody know what you do.
Yeah.
I spent years wanting to raise capital, and I was never really comfortable just asking people for money.
Mhm.
So, and when I changed my mindset, it's like I'm not asking them for money, I'm presenting an opportunity. And when I speak to investors now, they're like, "Oh, I'm glad that you presented this opportunity to me." It's not even if they don't invest in it, they're like, "Hey, keep them coming. I want to see more," type situation. And whereas in the past, when I was first getting started, I was like, I don't want to ask anybody for anything. That's kind of how I grew up. My dad always told me, don't ask anybody for anything. Figure it out on your own type
Neither, yeah,
situation.
neither a lender nor a borrower or B, right? Just that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So it was kind of just changing my mindset of say, hey, there's opportunity here, and I've been able to experience some success in real estate. So I wanted to share that with other folks and be able to present these different type of opportunities to them.
Well, a lot of folks listening or watching this are kind of in that situation that you were a few years ago, where they might be nervous about approaching people about raising capital. What do you find? Do you have any tips or tactics that work well for breaking the ice and starting that conversation?
Well, a lot of times people ask you, what do you do? That's kind of one of the first questions
Standard.
that people
Yeah.
ask is like, what do you do? And you just have to be prepared and say exactly what you do, and not be afraid to say that, you help people invest in real estate and get them to invest in deals with you. You, so it's really just saying exactly what you do because that's the common question when you meet somebody is what do you do? So that I mean, it's not like a real icebreaker per se.
Mhm.
It's just when you're meeting people, that's just kind of how the conversation usually flows.
Yeah. So have that. People used to call that the 30-second commercial or the elevator pitch or something like that. It sounds like you've just kind of got a different way of explaining what you do. And the nice thing is that you're tied in. You're pretty nicely integrated because you're all things real estate, right? You're a
Right. Yeah.
broker and you're an investor and you're a capital raiser and you're a fund manager. So it all ties in nicely. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. If they're not interested in investing, they might be interested in the broker side of your business.
Yeah. Yeah. No, correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, nowadays I'm focused mainly on the fun part of the business, so that's kind of primary responsibility. So usually when someone
Yeah.
asks me, I am saying I help busy professionals invest in real estate and help them grow their wealth. So that's kind of usually my one liner when someone asks me what I do.
Nice, nice. Oh, that's a good one. That's very good. So, what are the plans for 2025, Tamand? Where are you and your partners going with the fund and with everything else that you're up to? And are you going to still be doing syndications, or is it primarily focused this year on the affordable housing and the fund?
Primarily focused on the fund this year. So our fund, we're just launching our fund. Like I said, it's called a Fortified Housing Fund, and it's focused here in the Metro Atlanta market, developing homes here in Atlanta. So our focus this year is going to be on developing at least 30 new units for homeowners, and that's the primary focus. Although I still will be involved in syndication, but that probably be more in the latter part of the year. But right now, 100% focused on raising capital for the fund.
That makes a lot of sense. Tomond, time flies. We're having a lot of fun here, but if people want to connect with you, find out more about what you're up to, maybe ask about the fund, where should they go? What should they do?
Definitely on LinkedIn. You can find me there. My name is Tomond Jack on LinkedIn. But also, you can go to my website, which is shhequitygroup.com. You can also contact me there.
Fantastic. And you're the one and only Tomond that I know, so you should be easy to find.
That is true. That is true. Like I said, I'm the only one that I know.
Well, hey, Tomond, thank you very much for being on the show. Keep up the good work with the affordable housing. Thanks for sharing with us how you're making this affordable housing very profitable for you and your investor partners. I find that it's fascinating. It's really interesting. So keep up the good work.
All right. Thanks, Dave. I appreciate it.
All right, everybody, take care, and we will see you on the next one. Hey there, I really hope you enjoyed that episode. And as always, if you want to listen to more daily interview content, make sure you subscribe. And if you're an active real estate investor and you're doing deals and you'd like to get featured on this show, then just head over to daveinterviewyou.com. Now at moneypartnerformula.com, we help real estate investors to create a process for predictably getting capital so they can do more deals without relying on hard money lenders or the banks. We do this by building them a private capital marketing system. Now, if you want help turning yourself into a big money capital attraction machine, then book a call with our team to see how we can help. Just visit moneypartnerformula.com to find out more. All right, take care, and we'll see you on the next interview.